Hello everyone, welcome back to the introduction section. We installed Anaconda, set up the virtual environment and opened the Jupyter notebook in the last lecture. Here we are going to learn how to get started with the Jupyter notebook to give you a little bit of head start. This is going to be a little bit of lengthy introduction, but it will definitely help you understand the environment you're going to work in. Jupyter Notebook allows us to run code interactively within the web browser, where we can not only just run the code, but also do some visualization and mark down text to explain the process. There are plenty of code editors out there, and you are welcome to use any of them. But when it comes to machine learning and data science, Jupyter Notebook is a clear winner. As I mentioned earlier, Jupyter Notebook can almost be seen like a blog post where alongside the code, we can see the marked text in different sizes, links, text with bullet points, visualizations, images, and it even allows text formatting. But the most important reason why we use the Jupyter Notebook is that we can run the code in different cells, which is not possible with the other code editors, as we have to run the entire code every single time. First thing I'm gonna do with the notebook is to change the name. I'm gonna go ahead and click this untitled and change it to something like Jupyter Test and hit OK. Now that we have renamed the Jupyter Notebook, let's see what else we can do here. Jupyter Notebook's got two different modes. One is command mode and the other one is edit mode. If your cell is in blue highlight around the cell, that means you're in command mode. You can either hit enter or click on the cell to activate the edit mode. When you are in the edit mode, your cell is in green highlight. That's where you will perform your code editing. You will also see a pencil icon here indicating it's the edit mode. And as soon as I press escape, the pencil icon disappears because we are in command mode now. Command mode allows us to perform some actions like adding and deleting the cells. You can activate the command mode by pressing the escape key if you are in editing mode. I'm gonna click on the cell to activate the edit mode because we are gonna test some code now. I'm gonna write print hello world. Now, how do we execute this code? If I just press enter, I'm only adding more lines to my Python code here. Let me get rid of the extra lines. So, if I want to run the code, I can head to the cell menu and hit run cells. This runs the cell and displays the output below here. If I go back to the cell menu and hit run cells and select below, it executes the current cell and moves to the next cell. Since we didn't have a cell below, it created a new cell and activated the edit mode. Now If we click on the first cell, head to the cell menu and hit the same run cell and select below, it executes the current code and highlights the next code, but it's in command mode now. Let me click on the first cell and head to the cell menu again. This time, let's click Run Cells and Insert Below. This not only runs the cell, but also inserts another cell in edit mode below the current cell. Whether there is a cell below or not, it will simply add another cell. For our convenience, we have got some shortcut keys to perform these actions. Let me get rid of the additional cells first. So if you want to just run the current cell without creating additional cells or moving to the other cells, simply press Ctrl plus Enter if you are using a Windows PC. If you want to run the code and create another cell below and move to that cell, press Alt plus Enter. Let me move to the first cell again with the arrow key. Now, if you want to run the current cell and highlight the next cell, you should press Shift plus Enter. Now, if you don't have a cell below, it will create another cell just like the Alt plus Enter did. If you have noticed, this number here in blue changes every time we run the code. It represents the order of execution. In the next cell, I'm going to create a variable called name, set it to Mike, and execute the code. Here we are only assigning the code. I'm going to go to the next cell and call the variable name we assign above. This returns the name Mike. Now, if I'm going to go back to the second cell again, change the name to Hope and run the code. Now the name variable is Hope, not Mike. If you noticed, the second cell has the latest number in the sequence compared to the third cell, which still shows the old variable name, which is now changed. Since we haven't executed the last cell yet, it still shows Mike. If I'm gonna go ahead and run the last cell again, this time it returns Hope and the order of execution also changes again. So please keep an eye on those numbers as they represent the order of execution and they are super important. It's recommended that you write the code from top to bottom to avoid the confusions. Since the order is important, sometimes you may end up with creating hundreds of lines of codes and you might have changed some codes in the middle. In this case, you can run all the codes at once from top to bottom. Let's head to the cell menu and press Run All. Now if you look at the numbers, all the cells are executed from top to bottom and it's in order now. Now that we know how to code within Jupyter Notebook, let's see how to use the markdown text. Now, markdown is the text that gets translated to HTML. We can use it within our notebook to explain more information about the code, more like a blog post. Now at this level, this may not be important, but at some point in the future, you might need this. I'm gonna click on or highlight the first cell and go to the insert menu. Here we have got two options. One is to insert cell above and the other one is to insert a cell below. I'm gonna go ahead and insert a cell above because that's where I want my heading to be. Now, still this is just a regular code cell and we need to convert it into a markdown cell. Make sure that you are in the current cell. Go to the cell menu, go down and click the cell type and click markdown. Now this cell will be rendered as an HTML code. I'm gonna need to set a heading for this topic. I'm gonna type couple of hash signs and type something like my heading and run the code with Ctrl plus Enter. Here we have got a nice heading. Now, depends on the number of hash signs you use, the size of the headings also changes. I'm not gonna go deep into Markdown and explain everything. I'm gonna go ahead and paste some Markdown samples here and run the code. This shows how to create headings, bold and italic text, bullet points, and numbered text. I have included some cheat sheets in the resources folder if you want to know more about the Markdown. Now, let me show you how to delete a cell. First of all, I'm gonna go ahead and insert a new cell below. I'm gonna make sure to highlight the last cell, head to the insert menu and click insert cell below. Now this inserts a new cell and let's see how to delete this cell. I'm gonna make sure that I highlighted the cell I wanna delete. Go to edit menu and click delete cell. If you click again the edit menu, you can see there are bunch of tasks you can perform. If you wanna cut, paste, split or merge the cells, you can do those tasks through this menu. I also want to show you some stuff from the kernel menu. I don't want to complicate things at this level. So I'm gonna go ahead and simply tell you what some of these items do. Let's head to the kernel menu first. The first one is the interrupt. If you ever come across a situation where your code is keep running and you want to cancel it, you can use this interrupt which will interrupt the code. We have also got restart and clear output and some other options you can explore. When we code, we can't always go to the menu, access submenu and click on some options. We need shortcuts. We can see all the shortcuts from the help menu. Let's head to the help menu and click keyboard shortcuts. This shows all the shortcuts that are available. You can search for the shortcut you want and you can use it for your convenience. You can also add your own shortcut if you want by clicking the edit shortcuts. So if you want to know a shortcut, You can always find them here in the Help menu. Before wrapping this up, I would like to show you a couple of things from the File menu. Let's head to the File menu. Here, just like a normal file menu, you can create a new notebook, open an existing one, make a copy of the current notebook, and a bunch of other steps you can do. What I'm interested in here is the download as. You can download this notebook file in different formats. This file is in IPython notebook format, which is IPyNB. If you want, you can save it as a normal Python file and use it with other code editors. You can also save it as HTML and display it in your website or blog post. There are many other options here, including saving the file as a PDF file. Alright, that's a brief introduction to the Jupyter Notebook. Now we know how to use the Jupyter Notebook. It's time to begin coding. I'm Jeffrey Sadin, and see you soon.